Now, for the formation of African and Eurasian desert belt, again, if you have gone through the NCRTs, so normally the western part of the continents in the subtropical region, they are the deserts. For example, the Namib Desert, the Californian, the Sonoran Desert in California, the Atacama Desert. Then we have the Sahara Desert. We have the West Australian Desert, like the Stony and the Simpson Desert, to western coast. So the important is one is the subtropical high pressure belt. What is happening in the high pressure belt is because of the high pressure, the air is descending. It's a region of anticyclonic circulation. So the air is not allowed to rise. So if the air is not allowed to rise, the air, even if there is moisture containing air, it will not be allowed to rise, and hence it will not condense to form clouds and subsequent precipitation. So that, again, desert, we have to remember, desert is defined by the aridity, that is rainfall is very less. A desert necessarily is not always hot. There are cold deserts also, like the Gobi Desert in Asia. Then we have the Patagonian Desert in Argentina. So these are examples of cold deserts. Reasons might be different, but for subtropical hot deserts, one important reason is this, and one important reason is it is under the influence of the cold ocean currents. Again, if warm ocean currents are there, then that moisture, that warmth, when the water is warm, when water vapor or any moisture, the air becomes light and it rises. Again, when it will rise, the temperature in the upper layers of the atmosphere, they reduce and they cause the condensation into clouds and subsequent precipitation. So because of the cold currents, the surface of the water is already very cold, so the air will not be allowed to rise. And since, for example, if we draw the structure of South America, so here this region, the Atacama Desert. So here the cold current, the cold Humboldt current is flowing through it. So there is a particular term for it. It is called the desiccating effect. For example, in winters, what happens is you might observe that our skin becomes flaky on white substance of white skin. It becomes because that is due to the cold, the lack of moisture. So you can relate to this. It's how I remember the concepts myself. So if we see the one only here, a nice diagram, we have the Atacama, this hot deserts, the western part, and in the subtropical high pressure belt, the Sahara, Arabian, then Namib and Kalahari. This is the Western Australian. These are, you can see by the color itself, these are blue. So these are the cold deserts, the Patagonia also, right? The jet aircrafts, again from the climatology section, you can easily go to the NCRT and confirm whether I am correct or not. These are the layers of so this lower stratosphere. Don't get confused because in the NCRT it is referred to as tropopause. So this can be synonymous or analogous to that. So lower stratosphere, what happens is that if we consider the troposphere, the length varies from 8 kilometers, the height altitude, to 8 kilometers in poles to 16 kilometers. And this is the region of tropopause, sort of a transition layer, and then we have the stratosphere. So we know that over 90% of all the weather phenomena, the moisture, the condensation, the warming, the cooling, the air, that convection cells, the conduction, the heating, it takes place in the troposphere. So in order to avoid that turbulence, the airlines prefer to fly their aircraft in the lower level of the stratosphere or in the tropopause, so they do not encounter any bad weather as such. Obviously, when they have to land, they have to pass through the troposphere, but major concept is that they pass through the lower stratosphere or the tropopause. So basically, there are no clouds or water vapor in the lower stratosphere. So this is correct. There are no vertical winds in the lower stratosphere. Now this we have to a little bit be a little bit careful. So if I see the answer here, the answer is both 1 and 2, of course, because no vertical. We have observed that in the troposphere itself, there most of the weather phenomena are taking place. The air is rising, condensing, precipitation, snowfall, and all sorts of even cyclones, etc. All sorts of weather phenomena are taking place. So obviously in this layer, in the lower part of the stratosphere, there is no movement, vertical movement of wind, so it is calm in nature. So the weather phenomena, there's no turbulence. So this is another reason for the aircrafts or the jet planes to fly in this region.